Today we're going to talk about SPD, sensory processing disorders. What is that, and how does it affect my children or even myself? Sensory processing disorders is kind of a category of conditions such as anxiety, sleep dysfunction, ADHD, even more complicated conditions such as autism. What it really means is that your body or your child's body is not fully perceiving its environment. It's really easy to go on a journey this way. Your brain is literally a giant sensory organ. It is constantly picking up the outside environment. Heat, cold, pressure, humidity, and even electromagnetics or bioenergetics that we really don't fully understand in science. But we know that your brain is constantly picking up its environment. So let's just do this simple. Let's say the perfect situation, the perfect healthy boy or girl or child. If their sensory processing is at 100%, then their body can not only accurately perceive its environment, but then the information going to your central nervous system, primarily your brain, is then so keyed into the environment, it can then alter or adapt its physiology for the environment. The easiest example is if you were to live in sea level versus living here in Colorado, you would breathe differently. It's not a conscious choice, but your body perceives the oxygen saturation here versus sea level, and then it has to change its respiratory or breathing to make sure that we're getting as close to 100% saturation of oxygen. It's an easy example of understanding how our body works. The challenge with sensory processing disorder is that it can manifest in things that just don't seem logical, like sleep dysfunction or anxiety or the ability to get overwhelmed too easy. Maybe some of you, if you live with this, can kind of connect the dots, but it really is not always the ability for your brain and your body to adapt to the environment, because hopefully that's doing really well. So it's really connected to your body's ability to perceive its environment. Keep in mind, since I have a lot of clients that are in the IT or the computer world, and my comment to not only them, but even to you, moms and dads, is that by default, our programming is to seek not only love and joy, but function. So our bodies are designed to strive for health. It's not really designed to, fall into disease. That's when something goes awry. So your default program is designed to be healthy. If we allow our body to do what it was designed to do, and then we do what we call the 3 T's in life, you have the potential of living certainly into your 90s plus with a lot of vitality and enjoyment. You're certainly allowed to not have anxiety. You're certainly allowed not to have autism. You're certainly allowed to go to school as a 3rd grader and really understand what the teacher is trying to help you understand and learn and grow. The 3 T's that I mentioned earlier are toxins, traumas, and thoughts. So here in Colorado, unless you live by the freeway or work in petroleum, the only issue with toxicity is really diets or drugs, pharmacology. The other is trauma, which is going to be based on movement. So falling down, car accidents. We spend a lot of time in this office working on trauma directly tied to the birth process itself. The osteopathic profession, which was a report just recently in JAMA, which is the Journal of American Medical Association, indicated a 94% causation of birth with what we call subluxation or dysautonomia in the upper neck. Another weird word, but I've told you about this before. Dys means not working well, and just use autonomia, mean automatic. So all the automatic things that your body is supposed to do, like breathing and digestion and hormone regulation that you don't actually consciously think of, those aren't working well in dysautonomia. So when you have a physical trauma to especially the upper neck, because that's where your brainstem is, and that's where these traction challenges come in from birth, certainly cesarean or forceps delivery, this is where we can see birth trauma arising into this sensory processing disorder. What you'll notice at the beginning of life, literally in the first couple of days, is your child's inability to do the 3 things it's all it needs to do. Every baby only has 3 jobs: sleep, eat, and poop. So we need that baby at the beginning to be able to suckle, to move their head and neck, move their mouth, and literally be able to suck on the breast to bring nutrition into their body. And that's again motor. Remember, that's the movement that we talked about at a different video. So just that alone, your newborn baby is getting that energy from movement to help their brain develop. We want to make sure that not only your child is living to its potential, but that we're really avoiding future difficulties in the future. It's kind of my primary passion. In this office, we refer to that as what's called the perfect storm. It basically shows up at early signs, like I said, colic or difficulty breastfeeding or a really fussy baby. Unfortunately, these can really develop into autism and anxiety, learning disabilities, and etc. So we want you to have options. We want you to have information so that you can make decisions about you and your family on what to do with it. If you are looking for a drug-free approach and you want to understand the neurology of how we perform chiropractic, just learn more. Click on the link above. Get a sense of what we're doing. I'm also going to introduce you in the comments Dr. Matt. Dr. Matt is an exceptional communicator, and he actually is going to repeat the same subject that I just mentioned to you. He'll do his style, he'll do his information, but I want you to know. I want to share what we do with not only you, but everybody that we can. So as you're in his video, you'll even see links to what's called pxdocs.com, where you can actually refer to a friend of yours in Virginia or Florida, wherever. We want you to have opportunity for you and your family and your children to live their potential. So thank you for your time. It was quite a blessing to speak with you today. I'm going to go back to playing a little bit.